What's up, YouTube? Your boy back once again with another sports topic, and today we're going to talk some basketball. The NBA draft is approaching. It's coming up quicker and quicker. I think it's June 21st. So, I'm going to break down some players. Today, the player I'm going to break down is Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr., a year ago at this time, as he's going into college, was thought of and would be the upcoming draft's #1 overall pick, that he's going to be the best player in the draft. We didn't get to see him play because I think like 2 minutes into his season at Missouri, he breaks his foot. After that, he has back surgery. So a lot of people were iffy on him because he didn't play that much. And now we don't know if his back is going to hold up. That's the concern. But so it means I don't have college film to watch on. So all the film that we're really watching is like his high school film, his mixtapes and things like that. But from watching him, the guy is very athletic. He gets buckets. He can shoot. He's a good scorer. His NBA comparison is like Kevin Durant / Joe Johnson. So, but this lean more towards Kevin Durant. He's 6'11", 211 forward. I think he could play small. I think he's small forward, but I think he could play shooting guard on the system, depending on what type of system you're running. He possibly could. Don't hold me to that. I'm not saying he definitely could. I'm saying possibly, maybe, depending on how you match up what you're doing. Right now, he's mocked to go between that 6, 7, and 8 range. He could either be Orlando Magic with the 6th pick, Chicago Bull with the 7th pick. That's what he's mostly slided towards. Or he could be the 8th pick with Cleveland. So he could be one of those picks. But if you're drafting him, if you're drafting Michael Porter Jr., you're drafting him completely on potential and hoping that his back is holding up. Because we don't know, because we didn't get a chance to see him. I think he played a couple games. He played 2 or 3 games to end the season off. But you can't really hold him to that because he wasn't 100%. He was coming off the back surgery. He looked a little sluggish. He missed a couple shots. But he's one of those guys who lives off his athleticism. He can score. He gets buckets. The problem with Michael Porter Jr. is NBA teams are going to have to make a conscious decision, because it's going to be to the point, do you draft Michael Porter Jr.? Because you don't want to be the team that passed up on Michael Porter Jr. Because if he is the next Kevin Durant, he was perceived to be the #1 overall pick and he got hurt in college. And he goes from being #1 overall to 7th, 8th, 9th, whatever. You don't want to be one of those teams like, damn, we passed up on Michael Porter Jr. like 5 years from now, because he's only 19. So 5 years from now, he'll be 20. He'll be 24. So 5 years from now, if he lives up to what he was supposed to be, he should be one of the top players in the NBA. At the age of 24, he should be entering his prime and should be one of the top players in the NBA at that time. You don't want to be looking back and be like, damn, we passed up on Michael Porter Jr. I can't believe that we passed up on Michael Porter Jr. But in that same token, me being an Orlando Magic fan, even though, and my favorite player all time is Tracy McGrady, even though as Orlando we didn't get to see it too much with him, but the Rocket fans got to see an elite scorer diminish because he started having back problems. And from what everybody tells me, when you have back surgery, you might be healthy again, but once you have back surgery, you have to deal with back problems for the rest of your life. So at the age of 19, to have a back surgery, which he said himself that all through high school, like all these mixtapes and stuff that you're watching, his back wasn't 100% thing. He said that he actually been needed the back surgery. Now he's also saying that he's the best player in the draft, which he should feel that way. You were thought of as going to be the best #1 overall pick, and 2, you should always feel that you're the best player. Period. The best whatever it is you do, rapper, singer, football player, basketball player. You should always feel that you're the best, even if you're the trashest. You, in your mind, you should feel that you are the best. So of course, he should feel that he's the best player in this draft. But he said that he's always been dealing with those back issues, and that actually it was a blessing in disguise that he got hurt with his foot and went ahead and got the surgery, because now everything is cleared up and good going forward. The caveat to that, I mean, because the good thing is, okay, well, if he's been this athletic with those bad problems and now the bad problems are fixed, then he should be good and gravy. But the caveat to that is that once you have back surgery, once you surgically prepare your back, you have to deal with back issues for the rest of your life. Now, he might not have to deal with them 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, but 10 years from now. You know what I'm saying? Like, or maybe not in his first 5 years, but in his 6th and 7th, 8th years, those back problems start coming more frequently, and you start taking games off because you need to. And at that time, like I said, he's only 19. And in that situation, he's a 28, he's a 26, 27, 28, 29, 30-year-old basketball player. So you mean you got wear and tear throughout the rest, the 82 game season. And if you were one of the top guys and you having back problems, it's gonna come to you during playoff time, during finals time, through getting into the playoffs, through the crucial moments of the season, is when you're gonna be suffering from these back issues. Especially if you have a team that's built around you, and if you falter, you look at what happened with the Rockets with Chris Paul. The Rockets were in the prime position, up 3-2 to knock out Golden State and go to the finals. Chris Paul has a hamstring injury and doesn't play the last 2 games of the conference finals, and they lose. And it was evident, especially in Game 7, that they really needed a player like Chris Paul. You don't want that type of side. So those are the risks that you're taking with taking a Michael Porter Jr. But the reward is, if he lives up to his potential, he's a top 5 player in the NBA, and you don't want to be that team that passed up on Michael Porter Jr. Like I said, as a Magic fan, and I just seen a mock today that had him, the Magic taking him, and I can see the Magic going with that route. I can see the Magic going with that route because they need a guy who could potentially be a superstar, because that's something else he could be. He'd definitely be, if he's a top 5 player, I could definitely see Michael Porter. I could definitely see kids thinking that Michael Porter Jr. is their favorite player. I could definitely see him getting a shoe deal and kids going out to go buy them brand new Michael Porter Jr. shoes. Like, he could definitely be a transitional player, a superstar player, if he's getting buckets the way he's supposed to be getting buckets, the way on film, that lessons the way he's able to high fly and dunk and crossover. He got a nice little handle. It's not a sick handle. I ain't saying he got a sick, nasty, cold handle, but he got a nice little handle. I ain't saying he could score. He's very athletic, and I can see him being a transitional player. But being a Magic fan, do I want to take a risk on that? And then if you do that, what do you do with Aaron Gordon? Because you're going to have Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon is a power forward. Aaron really can't play small forward. We tried that with Ibaka. When we had Ibaka, and it could have just been Vogel's system, and also could have just been the play of Ibaka. But Aaron Gordon is better suited to be a power forward. Jonathan Isaac is actually better suited to be a power forward because that's his natural position. But you can definitely play Jonathan Isaac at the 3. If you bring in a Michael Porter Jr., could you play Isaac at the 5? Maybe in some packages, but I don't think you can play Isaac at the 5 all the time. And could you play Michael Porter Jr. at the 2? Maybe again in some packages, maybe again in some rotations for a couple minutes, but just being the 2 all the time? No. So somebody's going to be the odd man out, and under this regime, because you just drafted Jonathan Isaac, and they will be drafting Michael Porter Jr., and they wouldn't have drafted Aaron Gordon, I think they'll let Aaron Gordon go. In that type of scenario, if they draft a player like Michael Porter Jr., and then I think you're really just starting this whole rebuild process, which again, this is a whole new general managing system. Like, this is not Rob Hennigan. This is a whole new general managing system. So it's like we've been wasted these last couple of years, and you don't want to see. And as a Magic fan, after watching Sabonis, even though Sabonis never played for the Magic, but we drafted him, after watching Sabonis and watching Vic go to the playoffs in Indiana, and Vic being comeback player of the year, and Vic being an all-star, we don't want, as Magic fans, we don't want to see Aaron Gordon go to another team and do exactly the same thing. Go be a top 2-3 player on that team. That team go to the playoffs and be like, damn, there go another one. And if that's the case, both Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. better pan out. And like I've been saying, and like you're gonna still have concerns at the center position. You're still gonna have concerns at the point guard position if you bring in a player like Michael Porter Jr. But I'm not opposed. I can see why you would want to bring in Michael Porter Jr. because if he is what he's supposed to be, you don't want to be that team that's like, damn, we passed up on Michael Porter Jr. But also saying that, as a Magic fan, we dealt with that with injury concerns with Grant Hill. We bringing in Grant Hill. We like, okay, Grant Hill, Tracy McGrady, Mike Miller, Rookie of the Year. Okay, we gonna be lit. And you never got the full potential of Grant Hill because of injury. Do you want to see that same thing with Michael Porter Jr.? Like I said, I like the skill set. The Magic definitely need a person who can get buckets. And I'm not against, if we draft him, I'm crunk, I'm happy. I'm not against drafting him. But it's going to be like, okay, we got to start hitting. These picks got to start hitting. So Michael Porter Jr. definitely has to be a hit. Like Michael Porter Jr. definitely has to be a hit. And I think that's the reason why he's dropped down the way he is, because of the injury concern. Because I think maybe if Michael Porter Jr. played the full season, didn't have the back surgery, Michael Porter Jr. is a top 3 pick. He is. After the film, even though I know, and I guess he would have to play similar to that level at the college level too, because college film is going to be the college film would have been different. But watching the film that I watched, I know it was just AAU ball and high school ball. He was worthy of being a top pick, and he definitely has the potential to be the best. I did a video on Aiden. I said, as of right now, today, and when the season starts, Aiden is the best player right now. Michael Porter Jr. definitely, like I say, 5 years from now, could be the best player in this draft and be a top 5 player in the NBA. Like Michael Porter Jr. definitely could be a transitional player, be a top 5 player in the NBA, and definitely be the best player of this draft. Also saying that, he also could be the biggest bust because he's really being drafted on potential because, one, the injury concern, and we did not see him play in college. Because the 2 games that we see him play in college, everybody is throwing that game out, throwing those games out because he's just coming fresh off of back surgery. He was sluggish. He wasn't in shape, and he wasn't 100% because he was like he just wanted to come out there and play. So everybody's throwing that out. So he really didn't play. So we have no college film on him, and the only film we have is high school film. Which, I mean, there's a lot of players been drafted at straight out high school, number 1 overall pick, like Dwight Howard, a top pick. Was Kobe a top pick? Was Kobe a lottery pick? I don't know if Kobe was a lottery pick, but he was a first round pick. People have been drafted fresh out of high school and have done well in the NBA. So I mean, that's not. I'm not saying that, but we would like to see him play that Missouri basketball. We would like to see that. We would definitely want to see more of that film. So we're definitely drafting on potential and also the injury concern, because it could be not about the injury concern. He could just be a player who not pan out because we just base him off of high school. Once he gets up against college players, we don't know what he would have done, and we damn sure don't know what he's gonna do when he gets to the league. So it could just be just off of that. But you add just potential, and you add the injury concern, it get a little dicey. But the payoff could be so huge. Do you take that risk? Because you can't teach 6'11", 211 who can get buckets. You can't teach that shit. You really can't. You can't teach that shit. Could he be the next Kevin Durant? I don't know. He has a skill set. He can score. And I think he could be a top scorer in the NBA. I do think he could be a top 5 player. I think 5 years from now he could be a top 5 player and a top 10 scorer, or maybe possibly a top 5 scorer in the NBA 4, 5, 6, 7 years from now. But will those back issues pop up at crucial moments? Or could those back issues pop up, period, and you have a Greg Oden, Sam Bowie type, a guy who's just always filled with injuries and never was able to reach his full potential? That's the concern you have with Michael Porter Jr. But watching what I watch, the dude can get buckets. Like I say, the teams who are looking at him, like I said, I seen in my draft today, they had him going to the Magic. Like I said, I could definitely see the Magic draft him. The Bulls, another team starving, begging for a superstar. And I'm thinking he was a Chicago Bull fan. I think he might be from Chicago or lived around the area. He might be a Chicago Bull fan. Cause I've heard a lot. Something about him in Chicago have ties off of something. So I'm not 100% sure on that. And then also, the 8-5 Cavs. they might lose LeBron. Let's get somebody else who could help us do something, who could possibly be the next big name if we lose LeBron. Or we can draft him and then trade him to somebody else to get some more pieces to keep LeBron type shit. You know, we draft him and send that off to the Pelicans to get Boogie, like any of that type of shit. So even there was also a rumor of Dallas getting thrown out there because Dallas just got Dennis Smith Jr. Compare him up with Dennis Smith Jr., you could see some scenarios like that. And like I say, if he wasn't hurt, and played the full season, he's a top 3 pick. If he played similar to how he played in high school, and he was never hurt, he would be a top 3 pick. He would be either he could be going 1 to Phoenix. Nah, maybe not to Phoenix because they just drafted Josh Jackson and they got Booker, so maybe not 1 to Phoenix, but Sacramento could definitely use him. Memphis, like I say, Dallas, like he could have been a top 3 pick. Because of the injury, he gets pushed down because he got those concerns. So we'll see. Like I said, the draft is June 21st, if I'm not mistaken. But I got more videos to break down more players like Trae Young, Mo Bamba, Bagley, some other players. So y'all be on the lookout for those videos. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't. Comment below if you haven't. Click that bell to get more videos. If you think that Michael Porter Jr. is the next KD, the next face of the an NBA, a next top 5 player, comment let me know. If you think he's going to be a bust, you think he's just going to be real with injuries, he'll never live up to that potential, comment below, let me know. I'll holler.